Facebook and YouTube. Hope everybody is having a happy, fantastic Friday. I know my week has been busy. I'm trying to move, start book promotion, all of that stuff, seeing clients, all of that stuff for a busy week. But I have our special guest here. Um, I know you like TJ, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Author TJ Clark, the Childcare Whisperer, also my cousin, and he is going to share his story with us. I see one person on. Usually, we don't start the show until 8:40 p.m. Just giving everybody a chance to come in. When you come in, click share, click like. Let us know how your week has been. And TJ, how's your week been so far? I know you're busy, famous, running around doing all these book signings and all of that stuff. How has your week been so far?
My week has been good. It's been busy. It's been busy, but it's been really, really good. I'm
Hmm.
preparing for the final book signing at Mullins.
I know, and I will be there. Me and a good friend. Hey, Angela, how are you, Angela? Me and a good friend will be there. Let me close
Oh, thank
this.
you.
Okay, there we go. I put it just us. Angela, how have you been? I know I just saw you not too long ago, but how was your week? Hey, Karen. So you are you excited? Are you gonna write another book?
Um, yes, I think I have one more in me.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
two. Yeah, maybe
Maybe
two.
two. Yeah. Don't stop. So welcome everybody. Hey, Tanil. Um, we have not. We just got on actually at 8:30. So welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live on Facebook and YouTube. Happy Friday. We have author TJ Clark. The Childcare Whisperer. He's going to share his experiences with writing his book, how he got into childcare. He's also my cousin. He's also Tennille's cousin. um, and he's just going to share with us some experiences. I don't know anything about childcare. I'm a therapist. I know therapy stuff. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say. What we do on our show, we do learn a lot from our authors. I've had several authors on here. We have taken away a lot of information, and thank y'all for sharing. They're just sharing up down there. Um, but we have learned a lot from our authors that we've had on recently, and so the audience they will ask you questions. You will see them appear at the bottom. I usually highlight them,
Okay.
and yeah, and so we're going to talk about Baby Jersey as well after we learn all about the Childcare Whisperer. But we're going to talk about Baby Jersey. She was an infant in a Florida daycare center who drowned. She was on I guess, a changing table, and then she
Hmm.
fell into a bucket of water, which is so
Hmm.
bizarre. But I've seen several stories like that. So, yeah, I want to know your opinion on that. But the big thing is your experiences as an author and how does it feel and all of that stuff. I didn't get the first book, so you have to tell us about both of them.
Okay.
But we will start at 8:40. I see people coming in. There's your grandmother, my
Yeah,
cousin.
my grandmother, my aunt. Hey.
Hey, oh yeah, and my other cousin. Hey, Angela. Got two Angelas up here. So welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to the Dr. Dare Show live on Facebook and YouTube. It's Friday night. Thank you for taking the time to spend your Friday night here with us. We will start at 8:40, but when you come in, let us know how your week has been. Let's see. Yeah, so we have some interesting stuff going on. Let me see. I know I wanted to. So this is your Facebook page.
Okay.
Uh, That's up there. So that's where you'll see the questions, TJ, right up on the
On the chat side of here.
chat file. Yep, yep. So what are y'all doing out there in social media world? So I'm excited to try. I haven't been to Mullins in so long. I'm excited to come down there and celebrate with you.
I thank you for coming. I thank you for coming. I honestly don't go home too often. So
Hmm.
for me, it is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to the drive, but I am looking forward to going home.
That's what, like a 5 hour drive to
Uh,
Mullins, or
it's
6.
like four something, right at four. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not bad. From Virginia, that's an 8 hour. It's an 8 hour drive for me to go home to Virginia. So
Mm.
four-ish, 5 hours is nothing. Angela says my week went really fast with all my routines. Glad it's Friday. Me too, Angela. I'm so glad it's Friday. Um, yeah, I have a busy. I'm moving. I live in Midtown, but I'm moving to another part of Midtown, so I'm in the middle of packing up. So my place is very chaotic right now. So all you're gonna see is this little background right here. That's all you're gonna get. But yeah, we're so excited that you're here tonight at at the Dr. Dare Show live, Facebook and YouTube. Glad you have decided to take the time. We're going to learn about childcare. We're going to learn how TJ got involved in childcare. Well, if you drive to my town, it's 14 hours. Where are you at, Angela? You talking about New York? Karen says busy week. Thank God it's Friday. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Angela, are you talking about New York? Angela Davis, because I forgot there's Angela Hodge Gerald. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I've taken that drive. Me and my best friend, we drove from here to Philly. We drove here to New York. And that was not fun. That drive was really, really horrible, horrible. Yesterday I was a teacher. Today I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Tomorrow I want to be better than I was yesterday and today. Why? Because the day you stop learning and growing is the day you stop being your best self. And I truly believe that. I tell my clients when they come to me for therapy that we're trying to create the best version of themselves, cuz a lot of people go through so much stuff. Yeah, that is long, Angela. A lot of people go through so much stuff in life. Um and so sometimes they get lost. And yeah, so I'm wondering from a child care perspective how all of that plays in. We have 2 minutes before we start. Everybody else, make sure you're sharing this video. Um, yeah. You have anything to say, TJ? Are you nervous?
No, 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 I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous.
I'm sure you're not, because you do the. I'm sure you've been doing these for a while now, right?
Um,
Or not really? You have you?
well, yes. I have. I've done about four or five.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, about four or five.
Cool. Yeah. So we do this every Friday, and I've had several authors on and special guests. Um, See, there's your grandmother. My week was awesome. Now I'm laid back and full watching the Dr. Dare show. Yes, yes. After you've cooked that good food that I'm gonna get to taste next week. I'm always looking at your pictures like, oh my gosh. It reminds me of the way my mom used to cook. So I'm like,
Who,
oh,
my grandmother?
uh-huh, your grandmother.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
look, I think she gets great joy out of posting them on Facebook. I think she gets great joy. I told her that she should have opened up a restaurant because
Yeah.
she enjoys cooking so much.
It's probably therapeutic for her, right? She probably gets just relaxes. I'm not a cook, so I can't even. I can cook what I need to cook. Yeah. Okay. So it is 8:40. We are going to stay on schedule. So right now we're going to introduce author T.J. Clark, the Childcare Whisperer. Tell us everything that you want to know. I'll ask questions. My audience asks questions, but just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into childcare and how you became an author and all of those things. So
Well, I'm TJ Clark, as he stated. I'm from Mullen, South Carolina. I got in childcare under the aspirations of my mother. She owned a childcare center, and when I was young, I worked with her in her childcare center. And as I grew up, I asked her. I told her, I said, "Mom, I want to be a No, I said I want to be a judge or a teacher."
A
And she
judge or a
said,
teacher?
yes. And she said,
Okay.
well, I think you should go be a judge. I mean, I think you should go be a teacher because you're too biased to be a judge. So therefore, went and I majored in early childhood education. And from that point, my mother asked me to move to Atlanta, and I moved to Atlanta. And when I moved here, I got my first job teaching private pre-K, and I've been in childcare ever since then. And also, I went from private pre-K teacher to assistant director to director, and then I transferred to corporate because I wanted to know the corporate field of childcare. And I was the director of curriculum and assistant director there. So childcare is basically all that I know. And
Okay.
eventually, during the pandemic, when I was at the lowest point of my life, God gave me my business in a dream, and I woke
Okay.
up and I told my good friend that I was staying with that I said I'm going to start a business. Didn't have any money. I just said I'm gonna start a business, and
I love that.
he
Hmm.
gave me he bought my domain for a year, and I started working on my business and stuff from that point. And yeah, so the rest of the story, yeah.
Okay. So what did you like about childcare once you got it? I know your mom introduced you to it. What did you like about it that made you stick into stay on that track? Because sometimes our parents encourage us to do things and then we get there and we're like, nah, this is not for me. But you seem to have, you like it. So what made you like it so much?
Well, my mother never told me that I had to do childcare. She never made
Okay.
like wasn't anything that she said. Um,
Okay.
for me, I love. I tell people all the time. They ask me. They say, TJ, do you want kids? And I immediately say no. And they were like, well, how do you say that and you work with children? I said because I love children that have a time to go home.
Yes.
So, so I always love children. Like I truly enjoy working with children because one thing about children, the love is pure. And if you
Right.
really, really pour into them, they will love on you so much. And I think that for me, it's therapeutic because I'm giving them something that I did not experience when I was growing up.
Hmm. So tell us about that. I'm not trying to be your therapist, but what is something that you wish you had growing up that you show to your students now?
I wish I
Does
had a
does that
male.
make sense?
Uh-huh. I wish I
Okay,
had
okay.
a male figure at a young age, a male figure that showed that it's okay for a male to hug. It's okay for a male to
Yes.
say "I love you." It's okay for you
Yes.
to express your feminine side as a male when it comes
Yes.
to your children, and then when it comes to love. I did not have that, and growing up in a small town, it is taboo. Like you're taught that you're
Mhm.
supposed to be macho and all this and third, but people have feelings, and you
Right.
are and children allow you to have that vulnerable space to be that person because
I love
it's
that.
a real judgment free zone.
Yes. And I don't know if you watch my um type 5 sign videos, but I just did a topic on that because I believe that's a generational curse when our parents teach males not to express their emotions when they're sad and when they're going through something. And so that's what the problem is when you're dating somebody and they're not able to express those emotions. They were taught to suppress those emotions growing up, and it's especially in the black community, it's really hopefully everybody is getting beyond that stage of that macho and you can't express your feminine side. Hopefully we're getting past that, but that's good insight. Good insight. Okay. What else you want us to know about you?
Whatever you want to know.
Okay, so the first book,
Mhm,
and I didn't get that. I think this is the second one, right? This is
mhm,
the
that's the
second.
second. Mhm.
What's the first one? Kind of the premise. Don't give us all of it because we want people to purchase it. Um, but what are you getting? What is your message, your overall message in that first book?
So my first book was to child care center directors. And
Okay.
although what I will say is that although it is for directors, it has to be childcare related because I work in childcare, right?
Right.
But the tips and the advice and the guidance that I give in the book is applicable to any management role. So
Gotcha.
it's geared towards childcare center directors and teaching them how to run effective childcare centers, teaching them how to connect with their customers, teaching them how to connect with their team, and teaching them once again to know their strong areas and their weak areas. All of those things is 10 tips to help them be a better manager.
Okay, good. And so, like you said, it's universal kind of. It can be put into different fields, not just childcare, but the principles that you teach in that book can be used across different disciplines, as we would say.
Yeah.
What's something that you were surprised that you saw in childcare in all the experiences that you had, that when you went into the childcare environment and you saw this thing and you were like, oh my God, why are they doing this? And I know I put you on the spot because that's probably just like this awkward out of.
No, one thing that I was surprised, I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent. One thing that
Okay.
I was surprised about was the way they run their business.
Okay.
And when I say that, I mean that oftentimes we view childcare as, oh, that's just babysitting. But in all actuality, it
Mm.
is a business, right? And
Mm-hmm.
because we're providing a service to children, we tend to let our emotions lead the business. So a lot of decisions that people make or that owners make in childcare are based off emotions and not based off business. And
Gotcha.
that sometimes hurts them because when you need the parent to view you as a business, they can't because you've already given them too
The
much
emotional side.
of your emotional side.
Interesting. And I never thought of it that way. And I have to admit that I did see it as just like a child care center as like a extended, more professional babysitter, kind of,
Right.
you know.
And
But I
that's
don't
not
have
and that's
kids, so and
and
that
that's
is
not
not it.
and that's why when I was working for a private owner, that's why I wanted to see how corporate ran it. And the truth of the matter is private centers will say that corporate centers are all about money,
Uh huh.
but the mindset is wrong. Corporate is a business. They run it like a business. So it's going to look different to you if you're running it off of emotions when they are running it off of business.
Right.
That's why they're able to have 20, 30, 100 centers because it's a business.
Okay, that makes sense. So, question that just popped in my head is, so how was it being a male in, I guess, a female-dominated field? How was your experience? Did you notice a difference the way you were treated by the kids, or no?
Never the kids. Never the kids. The kids
Never
were
the kids.
always loving. The parents, yes, because for an example, I to this day won't change a female's diaper alone in a room. I won't do that
Okay.
because I just won't do it. Or any diaper for that matter, honestly. When I hug children because they love Mr. Ty and they went up and give Mr. Ty a hug, they come at a certain area because of their height. So
Uh huh.
I never let them hug me face forward. I always turn to the side and squat and give them a hug like that. So it's certain precautions that I have to take as a male that a female does not have.
Doesn't have to think
They
about.
don't have to think. They only have to think about it, right? So those things, when if for an example, my classroom, I had threes and fours, so they were in the potty training process, and I can't go in and assist them because you don't want anything to be said that this happened, and so you have to stand at the door. That way, you're always in the sight of a camera and converse with them that way. So things like that I had to endure. There were some upset parents that left the center that I worked at because I was a male. But
Wow.
hey, yeah,
Interesting. But you still there and you hung in there. So hey, that's
yeah,
that's why
yeah,
we're
yeah.
here. So, any questions out there for TJ? Anybody? Everybody's quiet. because then we'll go into the Jersey. I'll show a clip of, um, news clipping of Baby Jersey and the incident, and then we'll get into talking about that. If there's no more questions for the Childcare Whisperer, that's a question I have. Where did that name come from? Hey, Karen. We'll get Karen's question.
Um, Let me tell you. So the name, when I told you that my business came to me in a dream, right?
Yep.
And when
Yep.
I had the dream, I saw all of these services, and it was clear that the sign was, I'm the director, but help. So when
Uh
I
huh.
said I was going to start a business, I named it, I'm the director, but help. And then I'm a big believer in coaching and getting like business mentors and stuff like that. That's a note. That's a note for somebody. Getting business, getting business mentors and stuff like that. And my business coach that I had at the time, he said, "Are you married to that name?" And I said, "Well, yeah, because that's what I saw in my dream." Like, yeah. But
Hmm.
I'm also the type of person that if you whisper it in my ear, I'm gonna be thinking about it in the background, right?
Good.
So,
Okay.
I told my second mom here. I told her, I said, my business mentor asked me, was I married to the name of I'm the director, but help. And I was like, oh no, that's what I heard. And her husband said, what about the Childcare Whisperer? I was like, nah, I like that now because I think about the dog whisperer, and
Dog whisperer. Uh huh.
if you tie the two, then you will get that I'm good at childcare. I was like, and the name speaks for itself. If you've heard the two, it does the work. That's another
Right.
tip for somebody. It does the work. Um, so I went with it and I rebranded myself because everything said I'm the director of help. So I rebranded myself to the Childcare Whisperer, and I just been growing it ever since.
Awesome. Thanks for those hints that you're throwing out there too. So Karen has a question. My eyes were opened about how different one child care facility can be from another when I worked for the Georgia Child Care Assistance Program. Is there not a protocol for each, um, I guess, facility? Is there like standards that each facility has to meet? Do
I'm
you
sorry,
know?
my eyes were open about how different one childcare facility can be from another when I worked in Georgia for the assistant program. Is she referring to the standards of like how it's kept or something like that?
Well, yeah, that's what I insinuated, as if she was saying like one facility. And Karen, you can reply. Um, like you go into one child care facility, they may function one way, and then you go down the road to another one, and they're doing something totally different. I think that's what you're saying, Karen. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll
Well,
read it again. Go ahead.
if that's what she's saying, for me, it doesn't surprise me, right? Because once again, I look at it. I'm a very like literal person, so I'm a analyze the situation. So
Uh huh.
for me, I look at it's just like a house. Like I may go to your house and it's clean, and I may go to the next house and it's not so clean. I may go to the next and it's just straight up nasty, right? It's the same thing with people and their businesses. Everybody doesn't have the same standard. You'll go to some childcare centers and they some have uniforms and some don't. Some don't see the
Mm-hmm.
point. So it doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is that when you have a child care center or that you can see have reached a certain level, that you don't set that type of standard for your business. That's what does
Mm.
surprise me. Because I always look at trying to be better. That wasn't. I'm referring to the fact that one facility is just babysitting, others are teaching. No, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me when I see that either, because once again, it just goes back to the standard. She said was a statement. Yeah, it just goes back to
Okay.
the standard of that facility. So no, it doesn't surprise me. I was unaware that they are not just babysitting facilities. No, listen. I wish everybody. I don't even like when people call them. I don't even like the word daycare. Like when
Daycare.
I see a center and daycare is in their name, it bothers me because it gives the wrong perspective of, like, I just don't like it. I won't learn an academy or something like that because it makes people respect you differently.
Yeah, because once they hear that, they see that name babysitter.
Mhm.
That's the perception that they have is like, dump my child here. I don't really have to
Right.
do anything. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right, right. I have a question over here. It says, Mr. Todd, how do you feel about a provider who hires their daughter and she doesn't quite fit the criteria after training multiple times? Should she be let go or train her or ask her another provider? Well,
Oh,
this is what I'm going to say about that. One, when you with any business, when you hire family, you have to treat them like an employee. Once that
right.
person clocks in for you, they're no longer family. They have an employee number. So whatever you would do for an employee is what you have to do for that employee.
Hmm.
The family relation goes out the door.
That was a good question.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So Angela has one. What should a new parent look for in a child care center?
One, you always want to go look at their reviews. I always want to go look at the reviews. And then when you go in, you want to look at how many children are in the room to that number of teachers. So if you go in a room and you see in your mind, you're like, that's a lot of babies. Count and then see how many teachers are in there. Then ask that person that'll give you a tour, hey, what's the state ratio? That way you will know how many kids is supposed to be in there if they're abiding by those rules. Look at how clean it is. Look at how it smells when you first walk in, because most
Hmm.
child care centers have the baby room at the front of the building. But just because your baby room's at the front of the building doesn't mean that we have to smell poop when we walk in the room.
Right.
That goes to how the standard of your building. So those are the good primary things that you would want to look at.
Excuse me. So what should the ratio be, teacher to student?
It varies state to state. For example, like here in Georgia, if you have an infant, it is one infant. I'm sorry, six infants to one teacher.
Okay.
If you have if your child is 1 years old, it is 8 1-year olds to one teacher, and it just
Wow.
goes, yeah, per age group.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions out there? These are good questions. I'm learning stuff about childcare. I don't know when I'll use
Oh,
it.
listen. People don't understand. This is big business. Like
Right.
childcare is a $1 billion industry.
Wow.
People really don't understand. Like when you have someone who owns a childcare center, that is a millionaire. If they are running it the way they are supposed to be running it,
Wow.
that is
Okay.
a millionaire. Like they don't, you don't, and that's why I wish that that person would think like that. You're
Mhm.
running $1 million business. That's a whole other standard there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is definitely a big business.
So since you say that, what do you think the business owners think when they're, because obviously you're thinking that they don't think that they're millionaires or billionaires. They, what is their mindset?
Well,
Like,
this is the thing, and when I say this is not applicable to everyone, right?
okay,
But this
okay.
this is the thing. Sometimes when we get stuff, we get so excited about, oh, I'm the owner. Oh, the
Owner.
owner. Oh, the
Mhm.
owner. The owner. But when you go to McDonald's,
Mhm.
you have no idea who owns McDonald's. And guess
Right.
what? You still go spend your money, right?
Right.
You have never in your life seen Sam Walton. You just know his name.
Mhm.
Probably didn't even know he owned Walmart, right? And now he's dead and his children is over it. But we get so busy and we it has to be known that we're the owner. And I get it because it's a major
Mhm.
accomplishment for people that look like us, right? It's a major accomplishment. But
Mhm.
sometimes that being that you put that out there, people respect you differently. They start to expect certain things. So for me, I wish that they would just realize that, you started a business to be an owner, not an employee.
Right. Right.
Be an owner.
Be an owner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any more questions before we switch over to this little clip of Jersey and the whole daycare center in Florida? Any more questions? Good questions out there. So we're gonna switch, and we'll take other questions after we watch this little clip. Let me know if you can hear it.
I have a question over here that just popped up.
Okay, go ahead.
It said, Mr. Ty, What advice would you give a new in-home childcare provider? Okay, that is a really good question. One,
Mm-hmm.
I always say when I'm a big person, I'm big on mindset. You'll always hear me say mindset and accountability. So my advice to you would be that one, don't emphasize in home. Whether you are in your home or not, I just said this was big business. So my advice for you to be, say that you have a childcare center, run it like a childcare center. Operate like you are running a business, not
Right.
like you are in your home. There are people that make six figures in their home. That's not little business. So run it like a childcare center because you're running you're handling big business.
Right. So you feel like people that have like in-home childcare centers feel like that it's less of a business because it's in a
In
home.
their home, right?
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
certain people feel that way too because I'm bringing you to your to his. That's my little. I go to a childcare center. It's in
That's
that.
my play sister or
Yeah, that's
something.
my that's grandma and them.
Yeah.
That's that. You know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And it's like you said, it's about the mindset, and you need to have a business mindset. If you're the owner, that's your business. You should handle it as such. Good stuff. Good information. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yes, you do, Miss Cassandra.
Okay. Sorry if y'all hear the traffic outside my window. Hopefully my headphones is
To our
blocking it.
viewers, some of the details in this story are very upsetting. Our Katie Kaplan joins us
Can y'all
now
hear?
in the newsroom
Yeah.
this evening after meeting with the parents and looking into the case. And Katie, this really is just an unimaginable loss.
Yeah, Ben, Abby, any parent's nightmare really coming true for them last August after the 2.5-month-old drowned in a bucket. Since then, the family has been reeling, holding on to hope that someone will be held responsible.
She honestly had just started smiling and giggling.
The family of 2-month-old JERSI McKnight never imagined these images would be some of the last.
I just assumed she was in good care.
The past 4 months have brought a tidal wave of emotions, and they're still angry.
Child abuse, child neglect.
Just neglect all day.
August 9th, JERSI's mom says she dropped her off for her first day at Hugger Family Daycare, a state licensed facility inside this Perry home.
We were recommended by tons of people.
Said goodbye just before 8 a.m. Around 3:30, got a hysterical call from the mother of another child there.
My heart stopped.
Something had happened to one of the children.
I'm getting closer and closer to the scene, and there's ambulance, there's detectives, there's police. Like,
She didn't realize how serious it was until an officer greeted her at the door, later learning what state records insinuate. JERSI had allegedly been left unattended on a changing table and somehow scooted off, landing in a nearby mop bucket where the 2.5-month-old drowned.
that alone, leaving her is just negligence.
Recently, a grand jury determined not to indict the daycare owner on criminal charges in a 10-8 decision, which has left the entire family reeling.
I'm still in shock. I'm just hoping I heard it wrong.
That's just like taking a bucket of water, throwing it out there in the yard. And when it dry up, it's over with. My grandbaby was way more than a bucket of water.
The state attorney's office had no comment on the case.
The Perry Police Department declined to be interviewed for this story.
So what are your thoughts about this story, TJ?
I'm gonna respond to it. I want to answer this question. It says, I know that childcare employees are certified in CPR and other important things to care for children, but from a medical standpoint, would you recommend a nurse be on site for safety relief to parents? So, yes, I think that a good childcare center, it would be great to have a nurse at a childcare center. But the thing is, and one thing that you hear all the time is that childcare is expensive, right? So if you hire a nurse, then that means that you would have to pay more in tuition. and people already complain about the prices of childcare. See, that's the thing. They don't realize that once again, it's a business. So even though, we're caring for children, those children pay bills. So if we want to put a nurse on campus, we have to now raise the rate to pay a nurse. Right. So that's why we have to call mom. Hey, mom, he has a fever. He has to be out for 24 hours because we don't have the luxury of having a nurse to say, hey, he's fine. We have to protect the children, all of the children.
Are there some child care facilities that have nurses there? Because I never even thought of. I'm
not going to say that it isn't. I'm going to say I haven't been to any. But
you haven't been to.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that it's not any.
So you're not going to generalize. Okay. No, I'm not. Okay.
Now the story. Now. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard about the story, but I never watched the video to get the full thing of it. Because let me tell you, it never made sense to me. Never, ever, 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 ever made sense to me. And I hope what I say doesn't offend anybody because I'm just being very honest. It never made sense to me because in my mind, when I look at the baby, I'm like, that's how. How is that even possible? B, why was there a mop bucket near the changing table? Right? It was a lot of things. C, how didn't that teacher know the diaper changing procedure? D, everything that's dealing with diaper changing is supposed to be in arm reach of the changing table. So none of it made sense to me, right?
Okay.
But no tea, no shade. When I heard in home, it all made sense.
Oh.
Now, that goes back to the question that this young lady right here asked me over here on Facebook Live. You have to run your in-home center like a center. Because in a center, you cannot have a mop bucket near a changing table. The diaper changing procedure says that your hand should remain on that child at all times. Even if you're throwing the diaper away, your trash is supposed to be in arm's reach. So you don't have to move. So none of it made sense because I'm thinking, well, this child, who trained this teacher? Because she's not doing anything right? Because all of it is supposed to be right there. Even you're supposed to grab the child's belongings and have them on the changing table before you even go get the child, right?
Wow.
So none of it made sense. But in an in-home center, most times it's one person doing everything. One person is the cook. One person is answering the door. One person is doing X, Y, Z because they can't technically afford to have another person if they are not running 3 shifts. You make money when you're running 3 shifts in home. So it made sense.
Oh.
But that's only to those in-home centers who do not have a standard.
That made it clear. I'm glad you pointed out and Latanya she says that's why it's important to observe the surroundings of where you leave your child. I agree, but I'm glad you explained the logistics of how the the changing table is supposed to be set up. So, do you think it was just one person trying to maneuver through this scenario?
I don't know if it was one person that's maneuvering in this situation. I don't know, but what I can tell you is that they weren't following the rules and regulations like they were supposed to, like they would have been if they were at a center that.
Yeah.
So are you saying that?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm not saying that in-home childcare centers are not safe. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because once again, I know people that run amazing in-home childcare centers. Kids Crayola, amazing. She runs it just I'm talking about rules, regulations, cutoff time. She does not play. There's one lady that I know that she started out at an in-home center, and now she owns this amazing building an amazing center. But when she was in her center, in her in-home, she was charging $500 and $600 a week because she ran it like a center. So that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that don't just go to somewhere because of the price, because in-home centers are cheaper. Don't just go somewhere because of the price. Don't just go somewhere because you feel like, oh, she gonna watch my baby like grandma and them. No, you don't want that. You want her to watch your baby like he or she is supposed to.
Right.
There are rules and
Right.
regulations to this. So you have to, once again, take your emotions out of it. And when you're looking for a childcare center, put your business mind on. Hey, how do you clean up? Do you use soap and water and bleaching water? Hey, how many people do you have working with you in your in-home? Because
There
it
you
gets
go.
busy at times. You have
Right.
to ask those questions, not just, oh, she was sweet, little grandma. I know she gonna rock my baby. That's not the moment to base your decisions off of that.
So you shouldn't use your emotions to go childcare searching. You
Mm-mm.
should, like you said, the business model.
Mhm.
That's good advice. Wow. Mm. Any more questions out there? Yes, preach, TJ. The price should not be the biggest factor. Yeah, not when it comes to your kids.
But it is though. So many people,
Mm-hmm.
and let me tell you something. So if you look down my personal page, the brand was supposed to be released on Friday of next week, but I was
Uh-huh.
up this morning working. I end up clicking stuff that I wasn't supposed to click. So therefore, it's out now. It's just whatever. But
Is
anyway,
that the logo I saw? I saw on your page, I think earlier.
no,
Is
that is so the logo that was on my page is I rebranded the Childcare Whisperer again. Well, the logo, I got the logo redone
okay. Okay.
because as I evolved in my business, I realized I'm giving somebody free business tips. I
Uh-huh.
realized that my first logo, this was my first logo.
Okay. Okay.
But for branding purposes, I could brand all of these colors, but it would be too much. Like it would just be for photo shoots and everything. It would be too much. So I learned that I need to narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 colors, right? So I had my whole logo redone. Also,
Oh.
I wanted something a little more elegant.
Okay.
I want,
Okay.
yeah, a little something a little more elegant. But yeah, so I redid that. But the business that I ended up releasing is going to be a t-shirt line. And so it's Childcare Bay. Childcare Bay is a t-shirt line, but Bay stands for bold, ambitious, and eclectic. And the vision behind it is that so many times we look at people and we call them Bay based off how they look, but
Right.
what
Right.
do they actually bring to the table? Are they bold? Are they ambitious? Are they eclectic? And that can be somebody who looks like whatever, because it's
Uh-huh.
about what they hold on the inside, right? So that's the one that the business that I released, and it's a t-shirt line because you have entrepreneur bay, CEO bay, single mom bay, all of those things. Because if you are bold, ambitious, or eclectic, then that's who you are.
I love that. I love that. Okay, you got Tanya had another statement. Exactly. Parents need to set their own standards for who watch their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something like you would tell a new parent when they're looking for a daycare to watch out for?
Like I said earlier, just watch out for how many people are going to be left alone with your child. Watch how professional they are, right? Like it's
Hmm.
like I said again, once again, it's a business. Like so, they should be professional. They should be professional. They should, be pleasant when you walk in. The smell should be pleasant. They should tell you the menu, what the menu is like. They should offer vegetarian options. It's 2022. Almost everybody is shying away from some form of meat, right? So they
Right,
should
right.
have those options. So yeah, go in looking for the best for your child, looking for the best. And now that's not going to always be cheap, all right? Let me go. That's not always going to be cheap, but it's for your child. That's literally like an investment, literally.
Gotcha. Right. So on that note, what is the average child care that is out there right now?
That's hard to say.
That's hard to
That's
say.
hard to say because everything, like it really depends. It's so many depending factors, like area, the area that
Gotcha.
you're in, the city that you're in, like how what do you have to offer? It's so many. It's so many. I can tell you this: the center that I resigned from,
Uh
where
huh.
before I became a full time entrepreneur, I worked for Creme de la Creme childcare centers.
I've seen those. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
they are amazing. They're
Uh
amazing.
huh.
But let me tell you, they're only in Alpharetta, Buckhead,
Right.
only in those side of town, right? So at my location, for an infant, and their tuition was monthly. So for an infant to come for the month was $1,484, I think.
Wow.
But and that was at my location. At the Buckhead location, it's 1,500 and something dollars a month. But let me tell you, when you walk in the building, you feel like Walt Disney threw up in the building.
Oh
They have,
wow.
yes, they have like ponds for the children to cross over. They have the computer lab. They have the STEM lab. They have the library. They have the gyms. They have all of that. And at the age of 2, the children start going to classrooms like how we did in middle school. So they go to science.
Gotcha.
They go to art at the age of
Oh
2.
wow.
At the age of
Wow.
2. So
Okay.
you're literally paying for your child to have an experience. It's basically like a private school childcare center.
Right. So we got a question up here, Angela. This is off subject, but on point to what you just said. Professionalism is very important. It says a lot about the business. When I enter into a facility, no matter what business it is, I look for that and it makes a difference.
Mhm.
Yes.
And yeah, and people really don't understand that. And now for me, especially that I own a business, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it burns me up. It burns me up because that's literally, if for any business owner, I'm giving y'all a lot of business tips.
Okay.
For any business owner, you want no, because this is things that people didn't tell me that I had to
Mm-hmm.
learn as I went along. Because another thing that we don't do in the African American household is
It's
preach
share.
entrepreneurship and preach
Uh-huh.
entrepreneurship. We teach
Mm-hmm.
people that they need to go to work and work, be the best at their job, get promotion, and go on. But with any business, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I was sitting down last night and I went to this black-owned pizza restaurant. And when I sat down, I said, sitting here, I can tell you that it's a black-owned restaurant. And he looked around. He said, "You're absolutely right. Certain times, that's good. That's amazing. That's
Uh-huh.
phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
But there are also times when that snatches away from the professionalism.
Right.
Let me prime example. Last night I was sitting with our waitress. She had on like a wrestling bodysuit,
Okay.
all her cleavage was out. She
Mm-hmm.
leaned over. All her cleavage was out, and she leaned up and she said, "Oh, excuse me, they getting all loud." I looked. I said, "See,
Yeah. Oh, I already know where you going.
it takes away from the professionalism. So no
Right.
matter what business that you're in, I don't care if you're doing lashes. I don't care if you're doing makeup. Be professional. Be
Right.
professional. Stop. Don't let people say Cash App. Go create you a PayPal or a Square. Be professional
Mm-hmm.
because it's a business.
Okay. Karen says the zip code is a factor in what is being charged by daycare. Kind of what
Mhm,
you said for where you
mhm.
came from, based on
Yeah.
Buckhead versus Alpharetta versus, yeah. But I like the point that, like, if you're going to have a business, be professional, because I've seen everything you just said. I've seen that so many times, and it's discouraging. And I think I presented either a few years ago before I got my dissertation and stuff, is that I wanted to help our community by help to teach customer service, because I remember going into a black business and nobody speaking, and I'm standing there like, okay, what am I in here for? And the person looked at me as if like, what are you in here for? And
Yeah.
so I turned around and
But
I
the
left.
crazy thing is, this is the crazy thing to me. They really
Hmm.
look at you like you're the wrong person. That's
Yeah,
what
like
that's
what are you
what
doing
blows
here?
my mind. Like last night when I walked in the pizza restaurant, I literally stood there and looked like, okay, am I supposed to sit myself? Am I supposed like what am I supposed to do? I literally had to walk to the bar and I was like, hey, do I seat myself or how? Oh yeah, you can sit down. We'll be over there in a minute.
See, I leave when I can't. I can't. I,
Oh,
I,
okay.
I
Okay. But because I wanted to eat the pizza, and if I'm going to eat pizza, I'm gonna go
right,
ahead and support the black owned. I
right.
sat down and I waited and stuff. But it just goes to be professional. Like
Professional.
be professional.
I love that. Love that. Love that. So, any more questions for the child whisperer? But like you said, even going into that business perspective, people probably could get those tips out of your book, right? So, where can
Mhm.
we purchase? Where can we purchase your books if people wanted to
Both of
purchase it?
them, both of them are on Amazon. Both of them
Amazon. Okay.
are on Amazon. Mhm.
Awesome. So, any more questions out there, y'all? Good stuff. Anybody have anything else they wanted to ask or share, or any parents out there who wanted some more information?
I want to give somebody a shout out.
Okay.
I don't think she's here, but I know she's over here or she was. She's a child care center owner. She's an in-home facility, and she's one of the persons that I say runs it like a child care
I
center.
love that. Okay.
And I want to give her a shout out because she's been supporting me since I would look at my post and only get one like, only get two people that viewed my story. And she's been supporting me since day one. She buys stuff. Uh, Day one, she's been a supporter. Okay. And even tonight, she's here supporting again. So I want to just give Miss Cassandra Harris a shout out, and I really want to thank you for all of your support. It's because of people like you that I'm able to sit on platforms like this. So I really, 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 really do thank you for all of your support for almost 2 years now. Almost 2 years.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Awesome. It is always good to have that support system. So good, good. So you've been doing this for 2 years now?
August makes 2 years. August will make
August
2 years.
makes two. Okay, okay. Exciting, exciting.
Mhm.
Angela's clapping for you.
That's so cute.
So
Do
anything
you
else you want to share with us before we close out?
Well, if you're in or near Mullen, South Carolina, listen, click the link in my bio. If you go down just about any post, it is in the post. Click the link and come celebrate with me on my final book signing event. My final one for this year. My final one. Please, 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 please. If you're in
Is
or
that
near
it?
the Mullins area, come. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Please come and celebrate. Listen, this is gonna be a celebration, okay? Because I'm home. I'm home. My grandmother is cooking. Listen, and I had to do some rearranging to get that done. But my grandmother is cooking. My aunt, my cousins are hosting. My brother's the MC. Like it's a whole family affair, a whole vibe. So definitely, if you are in the Mullins area, please, please, please grab your all black now. All all black, strictly for all
All
black,
black, y'all. All
all
black.
black, all black, and come celebrate. Come have a good time, you all. Come have a good time. I would love, love, love to see you and hug you, and yeah.
Yep, I'll be there. Me and Kelly. Kelly's saying that she's going to interview you. She interviews artists, so she's bringing her camera and stuff when we come down to see you. So, yeah, we'll be there.
Oh, right. She should have told me. You know, I have to make sure everything is right if I'm gonna get on the cameras.
I see you dressed. You always. I'm not even. And my sister on here, Brenda, she's saying proud of you because. Um,
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
and then Karen says, "Here we go. You better preach, TJ. I have been to many a business that was so unprofessional that I walked out. I once went to a hairdresser who wanted me to drive to her bank to get the change for my bill." Okay. Yeah, I would have. Yeah. See, I don't tolerate that. Come
I
out.
would have I would have been confused. I would have been like,
Right.
no, no,
No.
no, like no. But you know what though? That goes into what I was talking about when we first started having investing in yourself and getting those business mentors and all of those things, because those are mistakes that you don't have to make. If you
Right.
invest in your business and get somebody to help you don't have to make those mistakes, because let me tell you something. There are some mistakes that you make that can tank your whole business that you won't be able to recover from. So therefore, if
Exactly.
you can, or now, if you can, or you could just simply spend what $200-300 and learn from somebody who bumped their head already and giving you knowledge for $200 or $300. You win. You have to invest in where you want to go.
And that's the thing, though. I think some people don't. They hear invest. They're like, oh, well, somebody's trying to scam me, or I don't need that. I can figure it out on my own. But like you said, figuring it out on your own could cost you your business because you may be screwing it up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Tanil, my niece and your cousin, she just replied, keep raising the bar. Yes, we love to support our professional Black businesses. Great info
Mm-hmm.
and advice. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I'm not just this way. I'm a little harder on us because we I want us to be the best because that's what we are. But I expect that from any business that I go with, point
Right.
blank, like any business that I go
Same
with.
here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if I walk in and you're not speaking, I don't care what color you. I leave because I'm like I'll just go somewhere where I'm appreciated. You know. But it was great, cousin, having you. We got to hang out
Thank
sometime. We
you.
live in the same city, and we
The
really don't do
same
that.
city. The sad part about it is, if you live in Midtown, I live in downtown Decatur. That means we only about 15 minutes
Few
away from
minutes
each other.
away.
That's
Right.
that's it.
Wow.
It's as listen, as they would say in Mullins, it's a shame for God.
It is, and we both say it, but we never
And we
connect.
never we never do it. Like, we never
And it's
do it.
not on purpose. It's
It really isn't.
you're
Honestly.
busy, yeah, and I'm busy, always doing something. Like, yeah, so but this is the start of something new. So,
No.
I saw you working and I'm like, gotta get you on the show. I've had so many of my friends who've been writing books and they've been coming on here and sharing their experiences about their books and about just like health journeys and all of that stuff. And I've learned so much tonight about childcare. So
Yeah.
if I have a client that comes into my therapy sessions and they're struggling with childcare or some questions, like I can use some of this information to inform them. So
Mhm.
passing on the information that you provided here to the information to my client. So I'm always trying to help someone. So
Mhm.
thank you, much appreciated for you coming on the show and sharing your expertise and your time. Go purchase the book. Like he said,
Thank
you can
you.
use it in any business because I'm sure this one is 10 tips for childcare center educators, new
Yes,
and
so that one,
seasoned.
that one I would say is it applicable to any educator,
Okay.
any person that is a teacher. That's a good one there. I put my heart in a few chapters in that one. Just yeah, a few
Okay. Well, I
chapters.
got it. And I use these resources with my clients in therapy. So I'm always gathering new information. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody who joined, all my cousins. I'll
Thank
see
you,
y'all next week in
thank you.
Mullins, my mom's hometown, which I haven't been there forever. But I'm coming to help you celebrate. I have my all
Thank
black
you.
already. I have
Listen,
my friend Kelly coming with her all black.
and
So,
Kelly coming with the cameras.
yes, yes.
Make sure my lineup right for Kelly. Kelly, you were supposed to email me and tell me that, Kelly. You can't just pop up a camera and have me looking crazy.
We already knew you were gonna be ready. That's the thing. But
Well,
yeah, we will be there celebrating and so excited. And Kelly
thank you.
said, "Yes, sir." So
Thank you
anything
all.
else?
Thank you all for joining. Thank you all so much for joining.
Yes. Yes, and thank you for coming. So, everybody, I'm giving you your Friday evening back. Go out, do something fun, practice self care. Make sure you're doing something for yourself, loving yourself. You only get one you, right? And we want to make you the best version of yourself. All right. So, have a good night, and we are out.